that will forever be associated with the 2012 Olympics is a legacy. But according to reports, the immediate legacy has been an upsurge in sporting injuries as more and more unfit people are inspired to get active, but without taking care not to strain themselves. Here with some advice on safe ways in which to get fit, please welcome a man who should know. Olympic champion Greg Rutherford, former Team GB medic Dr. Tom Crisp, and personal trainer to the Prime Minister and other stars, Matt Roberts. So, Greg, I've got to congratulate you because you had us all riveted. We've had what a fun. I mean, I feel fitter now just by watching you. I've discovered armchair sport. It's marvellous. I can get fit with that. So well done on the long jump.
Thank you very much.
You must have been absolutely at the peak because all the pressure of the country on it. And as you've been asked so many times since then, what did it feel like?
Words really can't describe exactly how it felt. It is the most amazing feeling that could ever come. Every emotion rushes into your body at this moment because it's the one thing you've always wanted from life, and all of a sudden you've got it, and then you've got to try and deal with that emotionally. So I didn't know whether to laugh, cry, run around, scream. You just don't know what to do.
We've done it all. Go on, then open the box. Show us what's in the box.
It's very impressive.
Look at that, isn't that impressive? We saw those wonderful pictures of the parade. I mean, that must have been a real tremendous grand finale for you.
Absolutely brilliant. The best send-off we could have ever asked for. And again, it was just this emotional time where you're seeing people in the crowd and they're looking and they're mouthing you, oh, well done, and everything else, and these other kind messages. And then you look at, there's a few other people crying, and it was just, it was such a tearjerker once again. It was just like that, the receiving of the medal as well. It's just an amazing, amazing time.
Have you got another Olympics in you?
Oh, hopefully another 2.
God, wonderful. Hey, so Rio and whatever comes after.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, I'm 25 now, so they sort of say for the jumper, you're looking between now and about 30, 32.
Well, you're only 39 years older than me. I mean, I'm 38 years old. Probably, Tom, we've looked at all these now. What sort of injuries are people getting then if they're sort of blasting out there thinking, right, I'm going to be Greg Rutherford, I'm going to do the long jump over the kitchen garden path? You know?
Alan, I'm going to start by saying that there may be injuries, but at the end of the day, exercise does you more good than harm, and we need to be getting out there exercising. The sort of things we're seeing, Achilles tendon strains, ankle sprains, hamstring tightness, bit of backache. All these things, though, are largely minor injuries. And if you prepare yourself well, start off gradually, wear the right shoes. I mean, even running. Running is an amazingly safe form of exercise. Walking's even safer. But you don't have to go out and play rugby, let alone wheelchair rugby, which is even more dangerous. You know, to get fit, as long as you do some form of exercise.
And warm up first, presumably.
Warm up first, prepare in advance, yeah.
You see, I call the professional, the athletes like you always warming up. You always do exercise.
It's knowing your boundaries as well at the end of the day, because, again, for us, in certain sessions, we'll stop if we feel we've got what we need out of that session. It might have not looked like a lot of work, but you've got what you need out of it, and you don't want to take it too far, because then you are risking injury.
Let's go and ask Matt now, because Matt, you know, personal trainer, I love the way, you know, he to the Prime Minister and other stars. So, when we look at what we should do, give us some ideas of what we could. We've got Trisha and
well, good examples here of what's going on. I mean, cycling is going to be massive again. I mean, people are buying bikes in their droves. You've got to go to the lamb shops now as well to match up with Wigo.
Yeah.
You bought your expensive bike. They're not there yet, but yeah, give it a half, maybe it might be. You bought your expensive bike, but the mistakes that get made and cause injuries often are quite simple, quite straightforward. It's things like using, on these great bikes, too high a gear. You go outside, you push away, think, I'm going to get in top 18 or gear 21, and the strain to your thighs, for one thing, is extreme. The strain to your back, if your position isn't right, is potentially bad. If your seat height's too high...
Get your seat height right.
Seat height's really important.
How do you tell when you...
Well, if you think about the position of this, you can see what's going on here now. If the seat height was too low, and often people want to get to a bike and have a low seat, they can touch the floor with both feet when they stop. If that's the position you're in, your knees bend to a really extreme degree. There's massive strain to your knees and to your lower back. So it should be that when you're in extension of that leg, it's almost straightened out when you're actually biking along. That's the ideal. Yeah. But you use your gears. Use the low gears, make sure you've got a good cadence in the legs.
So don't punish yourself too much then.
Not too much,
Are you all right on now then, Trisha? You're
having a great time.
Can I tell you a secret? Trisha and Nicola were in the audience in the studio yesterday and they were plucked out. I bet they wish they'd never come. But you see, I always think when you get a certain age, walking's much healthier, a brisk walk, than running, which jars your joints.
Nothing wrong with running. I should stress that now. The key thing with running actually is that it's not the running itself that's the issue. The issue with running is that if you've got tension around the outside of your thighs, things like ITBs, there's a muscle that's there, the tension around your hip flexors, front of your pelvis, then you have this potential there for a misalignment of the lower back and the knees themselves, the hips, and that causes the problems rather than the actual running itself. Running, as the doctor will definitely testify to, is actually extremely safe. Now, working on a treadmill gives you some benefits as well, in that if you do choose to go to a gym and use these, or go on at home maybe, then the absorbency of the base of this gives you some benefits as well.
Good shoes, use good
shoes, certainly, absolutely, yeah. But with all that in mind, these two things are great, as are swimming and tennis and so on, so don't be afraid. Go out there carefully.
I'm exhausted already. Absolutely, I'm just watching them. Now, the thing is, you've got this idea of doing some kind of special walk for it. Tell us about this.
Yeah, we've been working with Bupa to develop these different walks.
I'll look after the gold medal.
Well, yeah, we've been developing these different walks basically to get people more active and make it a bit more fun. Because again, some people just think, oh, I don't want to go for a walk; it's a bit boring. So we've mixed it up slightly.
Give us a demo then. Show us what how we're meant to walk.
You do look ever so slightly daft, but I'll give it a go. So basically, you're coming up, you bring your leg through, and then you're walking like this and lifting up.
And you walk down the street like this, Greg.
I've done it. There's a video
on Westminster Bridge.
There's a video of going over Westminster Bridge doing exactly that, and it's a great workout.
Just do it again. So you're moving, because this is serious stuff. I mean, and you can do it up down the garden path if you want.
Well, exactly. Well, that's the thing. You don't have to obviously go in the streets and make yourself feel a bit silly that way. So again, it's a lot like a normal walk, but you're lifting up.
You're exaggerating. I was going to say you're exaggerating every move that you're doing.
And the idea behind that is that you're burning double the amount of calories you would be in a normal walk. So doing that for I think it was around an hour. You're burning 350 calories, which is a lot more than anything else, and that's so easy to do.
We've actually tested this in the laboratory as well, so this is not just sort of idle, let's have a bit of laugh. It is a laugh, and the idea is to make walking fun. But in the Bupa lab, we got people doing it, and they really did burn 350 calories in an hour.
You do presumably have to take account of your age as well, and you are allowed when you get older to slightly ease off yourself, presumably, not be quite so punishing.
Yeah, of course. But again, I mean, another stat that's come out now is if you go for a walk for 15 minutes a day, you can extend your life by 3 years. And again, 15-minute walk, I mean, anybody can do that. As long as you're able, you can get up and go for a walk. And again, that can just be going to the shops rather than jumping in a car or taking the dogs.
Exactly. Little bits of exercise added up.
Add it up to 15
minutes.
Don't
use the lift walk upstairs.
Well, exactly.
And unfortunately, the survey that we've just carried out at Bupa shows that the Brits are getting worse and worse. We're taking the car for a short journey down to the corner shop instead of just walking.
What, worse than Americans?
Yes.
Yeah, twice as likely.
Believe it or not, yes.
Twice as likely as Americans not to walk.
Exactly, yeah. And you wouldn't believe it, would you, again? Because you know in America everybody drives a car and they all like to have their own car each, and it seems
now,
that
they may be less honest than the Brits. There are other things that might
So if I do that silly walk, I'm careful about what I eat, I could be like you, 50 minutes a day, and I could be in the next Olympics in Rio.
Absolutely.
The saddest part of this interview is I now have to hand back this box, which I have cherished holding because it's so heavy.
No, thank you very much.
Bless your heart. Thank you very much. And my thanks to Greg, and congratulations to Greg. To Tom, to Matt, not to mention Tricia Nicola. Thank you. Still ahead, Cherubini on doubling your house value and a guide to dressing Downton style, but on a working class budget. We'll see you in a moment.